Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video I want to give you guys some tips for leveling alts, particularly in the new areas for Battle for Azeroth. The expansion has been very exciting, but recently I got my rogue all the way to max level. I'm capped out on my gear for the mythic dungeons, so it's now time for me to get some of the other classes that I'm interested in playing and checking out caught up to speed. With the patch 8.1 coming out very soon, with the new allied races getting closer and closer as I get my reputation close to exalted, I think it's going to be a perfect time for a lot of you guys to level alts. In this video, I want to talk about some of the tips I wish I knew when it comes to leveling, some of the tips to make the experience either faster, easier, or simply more enjoyable. So this video is going to go over a lot of the basic things that chances are you guys already know, and they're very generic. But it is going to give you guys information that I wish I knew when I was leveling my character the first time around. The first advice I would have for anybody who wants to speed up the leveling experience is to get the add-on called Azeroth Autopilot, which automates a huge number of the questing experience. It'll auto-accept quests for you, it'll auto-turn in quests for you, it'll auto-select all the dialogue options you need for a quest, it'll even give you the best pathing for your quest, so you have the fastest time and the most amount of XP earned for the right questing path. The quest path it takes gives you the most amount of XP in the shortest amount of time, giving you the most amount of experience gained from a zone to make sure that you hit level 120 by the end of it. And it tries to get all the story quests done to make sure that once you completed the zone, you won't have to come back to it again. You can also expand this add-on to automate a couple other things, like whenever you interact with a vendor, it'll auto-sell your trash. If you interact with a blacksmith, it'll auto-repair all of your gear. It can even automate your quest rewards, as in if it gives you a quest reward that's an item level increase for you, it'll automatically take the item level increase, except for weapons and Azerite gear. Those it allows the player to customize, so it gives you a little bit more customizability to how you want to play. You'll be surprised just how much downtime you will completely eliminate when you have so many of the quests turn in, quest pickup processes automated, and the add-on will try to give you as many of the shortcuts, like using your Hearthstone in certain key areas to Hearthstone back ASAP, and using Goblin Gliders in certain areas to shortcut your way to 120. The second advice I would give to anybody for faster leveling experience would be to get yourself an insightful Rubelite. It's a brand new gem in Battle for Azeroth that rewards you 5% extra experience. It is best paired when stuck into a legendary. Generally, as you quest to max level, you will be using your legendaries until their effects wear off at level 116, but most of the legendaries still maintain a fairly high item level even as you etch yourself closer to level 120. So I think the best spot to stick this gem into is into a legendary ring. Most rings have a gem slot which can be perfectly fit right into that legendary, and even though a lot of the legendary effects do wear off at around level 116, what you can do is just simply maintain that ring until level 120. Eventually that ring is going to scale pretty low, but having one ring that's kind of lower item level than the rest of your gear is better than having something like, oh, I don't know, shoulders, chest, or even pants legendaries that you would maintain. So the stats you'll be losing on are not nearly as big, and you'll still have a 5% level in XP, which I think makes up for it. Number third advice that I would have on my list is to activate war mode if that is what you're into. Do you want to have some skirmishing PvP fights with others, or simply just want the 10% extra experience? Turn on war mode, you'll put a target on your back, but at least you will level faster. Technically, this is a fairly fast way to level. You activate war mode, which has downsides. Anybody from the opposite faction can attack you at whim, and with the way that the game is at, we are about a second week, or at least the start of second week, of Battle for Azeroth expansion, and a lot of people are already at level 120 doing world quests, which takes you to so many different areas. Some of those areas will be where you will most likely be questing as an alliance or a horde player. You will get 10% more experience from all your quests, so for all those times a rogue ganks you, at least you'll be able to get a little bit extra reward out of the experience of the quests that you end up getting. On top of that, in my experience, most level 120 players won't really touch lower level players. There's a couple reasons for it. One, you're just letting them level, leave them alone. There's not really that big need to just kind of whip out your big item level and just crush them. Also on top of that, Blizzard added some scaling technology where low level players actually get a little bit extra of a buff to damage and scale differently against high level players, so that the low level player actually has a chance to beat a level 120. Essentially, the lower your level, the more of a handicap Blizzard gives in your court in order to be able to fight off any kind of aggressor. But as you get to level 120, gear is going to start to matter a lot, so that's when the experience could have a few more adverse effects. So if you're not a fan of the PvP encounters, feel free to ignore this one completely. Now, the rest of this video is not going to talk about the speed of leveling or efficiency of leveling, but rather about the leveling experience and what are some of the things that you guys can do to make it more pleasant, more fun, more enjoyable, or more bearable if you hate leveling. A lot of people recommend for you to take care of the zones you don't like, and I actually agree with that. Because of the scaling technology working in World of Warcraft, you will start out at level 110 with legendaries that are functional, so allows you more damage essentially. You have the gear from the previous expansions, the previous raids, so you're probably going to be doing a lot higher scaled damage, so a lot of the mobs, a lot of the rares, and a lot of the challenges should be not really that challenging, at least early on. So a lot of people are recommending for you to do Trust War as an alliance or Vol'dun as a horde, because those two zones are reported to be the longer zones and the least enjoyable, which I don't really know what they mean by that. I actually enjoyed Vol'dun Sands. It was a nice change of pace compared to the jungles and the swamps of the horde, and I always felt like the Drustvar storyline with all the witchcraft kind of going on and the ice, the mountains, the changes between this gloomy and snowy areas in Drustvar, I actually enjoyed that a lot on the beta. But if those are the zones you don't like, or any of the other 6 zones that are available in the game in BFA, whichever zone you don't like the most, do that one early, because this way you'll be able to utilize your legendaries, your gear, and the scaling technology to work with you hand in hand to make the experience a lot faster and a lot more enjoyable. Another advice I would give you guys for anybody who wants to make the experience a little bit more pleasant is to quest with friends or guildies or really anybody. If you hate questing, then misery loves a company, and being able to quest with somebody else, you know, just have sideline conversations about anything that's not World of Warcraft, or if you want to talk about World of Warcraft, feel free. Having those conversations on the side, having somebody else to help you do the quest, having somebody else there to help you attack the rares and finish certain quests that you wouldn't be able to solo, makes the experience a lot more enjoyable. And I find myself having enough endurance as a first time level 120. I feel like if I was leveling by myself, I would have given up, went to bed, and then would have been fine. But when I'm with other people and all of us have the drive to get to level 120, even as it gets late into the night, like 4 in the morning, even as we all are getting tired and frustrated and even just anxious to get to a max level already after spending all these hours questing, it was kind of cool to have all of us there just wanting to get to 120, and part of that was kind of driving everybody forward. Another quest, a little bit more XP until everybody finally hits 120. I know not everybody is going to be able to get into stuff like that. Maybe you don't really have friends that play World of Warcraft. I mean, this game is kind of old, so if you are not questing with friends, maybe a live stream or a video with long-term discussions is probably the best thing to run in the background while you're getting through your questing experience. And the last advice I would have, this one is really for anybody who's already done the speed quest and you feel like you are just missing parts of the game. Maybe you are even feeling bored and feel like the story of BFA so far through the quest just simply didn't faze you. I would have to say you should slow down. There's a lot of stories, and a lot of people regard BFA story quests very enjoyable, especially to anyone who took their time questing in Battle for Azeroth. I mean, when you're going through every single quest back to back, just trying to accomplish them as fast as possible, you will miss a lot of the stories. Blizzard is the type of company that likes to put in jokes, they like to put in references, they like to put in Easter eggs into their game. So when you slow it down, you're able to really get into the story that they wrote, you're able to get the side stories in all of the zones, and then of course you're able to find all of the hidden gems that you would find if you were to pay attention. So by slowing down, it might be the best way for you to explore as much of the game as possible and really soak in the experience. Especially if you're somebody who leveled on the Horde and now might want to level on Alliance, or vice versa. Another add-on that I can recommend you if you do want to slow down and read every single quest, which I eventually want to do that for Battle for Azeroth, especially on the Alliance side, since I feel like I've played as much on the beta for the Horde side as humanly possible. I'm gonna use the add-on called Immersion. I'll have that link down for you guys to get from Curse. It will slow down the experience. It'll give you a slower, more manageable, more updated quest reading experience. So instead of just being like a block of paper, you'll have actual dialogue options that'll pop out, making the game a lot more immersive. Just put on Action Cam, add Immersion, and you should be good to go to explore all the details of Battle for Azeroth. And that goes my video of the tips that I have for you guys on what you should do with your alts when leveling in BFA. Or rather, tips I wish someone told me on my first character the first time around. Hopefully these methods help you guys either enjoy the game a lot more or make the questing experience a lot faster and therefore a lot more bearable. I feel like BFA has a lot of opportunity and I'm so excited to get onto the Alliance side. Even though I played them on the beta, I think I'll still enjoy them in the live game. Thank you guys, as always. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, it helps me out a lot. If you guys want to join the channel and subscribe to get 2 videos a day, you're more than welcome to. If you are going to hit subscribe, I would recommend hitting the notification bell if you do want to keep up to every single video and daily live streams, except for Thursdays, then feel free to do that as well. Thank you guys so much for the support, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see all of you in another video.